So the probiotic supplements you want to look for are ones that have at least 10 to 20 billion colony forming units. They're called CFUs, colony forming units per dose, and should contain a variety of bacterial species. You can find them also in full fat yogurt and some vegetables. Triphala, now this is an Ayurvedic herbal mixture. Again, another thing I found really difficult to find. I've not been able to get hold of it. That some plant-derived digestive enzymes, bromelain from pineapples. Again, another thing that I found to be hard to track down. Maybe the best way to do it is to order some of these things online if they're not too expensive. But DGL, glycerinated licorice. It's licorice. DGL is the short name of it. Now this I have been able to find pretty easily. It's an herbal extract, and it tastes like licorice when you chew the tablets, and it helps to protect your esophagus and stomach lining. So as usual, often finding these products is the biggest issue, but those are some things that can be helpful. And now on to our continuation of our important topic, the future of the internet. Now, there's two basic places where the internet is taking us. One is AR. AR is augmented reality for short. Augmented reality is not the same as virtual reality. Augmented reality is a situation in which you will have, and we already do have things like Google Glass and such things, wearable devices that help you to augment the reality around you, give you more information about what you're looking at, increase your reaction time to things. And this is all going to be sort of an offshoot of things like the virtual assistants we have now. Virtual assistants are things like Siri, of course, and Alexa from Google. These are the virtual assistants that we use that are connected to the internet. And as we connect our smartphones and our homes to the internet, we are creating this Internet of Things that will be crucial to our lives. But these wearables will help to do daily tasks in a much different way. They've already been sort of adopted by certain types of people, particularly maybe the helicopter parents who want to keep track of their child 24/7. So they can, sort of track you in a way. And some of the problems, though, with wearables have been their battery life is short, they're expensive, sometimes they are complicated to learn and use. They're not standalone products, so you have to have a smartphone if you want to use most of them. They don't look particularly good. Google Glass looks horrible, by the way. Pardon me. So, what needs to change? Pardon me. What needs to change, and what is changing, is that the wearables that we will have in the future are going to use energy much more sparingly and can last days. They'll be connected independently to the web, interact with the world around them, and offer users variety of useful information. And they must also look, decent. So, what you will see are things like the next generation of Google Glass, for instance, which is apparently being redesigned to help workers in factories and other places where they may not see possible dangers. It can warn people. Same with people who work outdoors. They will have wearables that will help to keep them connected and give them information. Same with emergency personnel, military personnel who deal with high-stress crisis situations and need immediate and complete access to relevant information. Smart glasses and badges will allow hands-free communication between team members and will help to provide information and hopefully get help much faster. Now, as this Internet of Things expands, you will be able to see things like sensors built into products and the environment in which you interact. They'll engage you through your smartphone. For example, you might be walking through your home, and as you walk in, the lights will immediately come on, and air conditioning will turn on or off based on what room you're going into. You might have speakers and microphones through the house, so your music or podcast can travel with you as you walk from room to room. Of course, there will be, as we've talked about in this show, a possibility of fatigue because of the increase in information that will be exposed to. And so, that tool we've been talking about will become increasingly more important as these things become parts of our lives. Around this time, there will be interfaces like holographic and gesture-based interfaces, where you will no longer be using things like the keyboard and the mouse, or even swiping your fingers against glass surfaces. But ultimately, there will be a future phone that will be a wearable kind of thing that will, it's almost an implant apparently. And by the early 2020s, there will be this bendable tech which will merge the smartphone's computing and battery power with the aesthetic appeal of a wearable and practical uses. They may even replace the smartphone entirely. That will be very interesting. So you will have interaction with virtual assistants through a wristband. And you will have constant user authentication feature, so that your virtual assistant always knows that you're its owner, and so you don't have to constantly be typing in a password to access your virtual assistant. You'll just raise your wristband near your mouth and speak, and that will make your interaction faster and more natural. And these wristbands will allow your virtual assistants to constantly monitor your movement, help you with your health, help you with your exercising, monitor your sleeping, monitor if you're drinking too much, all of these things. That can provide great information for your health. And you will be able to communicate your activities and preferences to your home. So if you're having a headache or something, you can tell your home to close the blinds, turn off the lights. If you've slept in, your virtual assistant can notify your home to open your bedroom blinds. Or if you've slept late, maybe blare a little loud music over the house speakers to wake you up, or make your coffee. And then you'll also be able to do, web browsing and go onto your social media, all through this wristband. By 2020s, holograms will be the next big thing. You'll be able to send a holographic image to yourself and your friends. At first, it'll be kind of novelties like the emoticons, but over time, you'll be able to project large images, and you'll have sort of ubiquitous touch screens everywhere. The average table, like at a local Starbucks, will be surfaced with a touch screen that you can use to order whatever you want. The bus stop outside your building might have a see-through touch screen wall. The neighborhood mall might have columns of touch screen stands where you can, find out where you're going or contact the store you're looking for. There'll be a lot of other smart surfaces to help you in your home, in your office. So all of these wearables will be part of our becoming the very technology that we are using. It's something called the singularity, which has been predicted by quite a number of futurists. The singularity purports that we will become one with our technology. I believe around 2025 or 2030, somewhere around there is where it's expected we will reach that tipping point. But the ultimate place where we're going, where we were talking about holograms, and we're talking about all of those things. Ultimately, what seems like the future of our internet is going to be this virtual reality. Virtual reality, which we were talking about earlier in the program. This is the ability to use technology to create an immersive and convincing audio-visual illusion of reality. It's different from the AR, augmented reality, because it's not adding to or over top the so-called real world. It's creating its own world. We already have virtual reality glasses and those sorts of things that are used by gamers, who are playing gaming video games. But what's going to happen very soon, and they're predicting before 2020, so that's pretty much this year, we're going to have much more affordable VR headsets. We're already seeing that happen. And companies such as Google and Facebook and Sony will release them. And this will start a whole new market that will attract a lot of software and hardware developers. By the late 2020s, they're predicting that VR apps will gain more downloads than traditional mobile apps. And they'll be used in education, they'll be used for training and employment, for business.